Welcome back. Well, a truly valuable volunteer organization recently reached yet another impressive milestone in its mission to quickly transport critically ill patients wherever they need to go to get their life-saving medical treatment. In the last 5 years, Long Island-based Patient Airlift Services, or PALS, has arranged critical emergency plane flights for thousands of needy residents, most of whom can only get the specialized treatment they need to stay alive at far-off specialized medical institutes, and most of whom could not afford to pay for the frequent flights to those facilities based elsewhere around the nation.
No one wants to have their life turned upside down when they get afflicted with something like cancer, but when you do, PALS is just like kind of a bright spot amongst all the darkness.
When you're faced with even the thought of possibly losing your child, I can't even begin to describe.
Particularly with younger kids, you almost have to wipe the tears out of your eyes before you take the runway and go, just because of what they have to endure.
He should be worrying about, whether or not he's going to the football party on Friday night or if he has a girlfriend. He shouldn't have to worry about life and death choices.
And now recently, the agency passed the 8,000 flight threshold, already well on its way to its next 1,000. And joining us is Sheiness. He's the co-founder of PALS, or Patient Airlift Services, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Richard.
8,000 flights in 5 years. You guys are busy.
We have been busy right from the very start, absolutely.
It really shows the need, too, though.
Well, that's really where this all came from. A bunch of us who had been doing volunteer flights for many, many years realized there was such an unmet demand for these types of flights. People who just can't take the commercial flights because of their medical conditions or their financial conditions, and we felt that we could get something off the ground and start flying people in need.
And boy, have you. You say we felt. You're one of the co-founders 5 years ago. I don't think there was many volunteers you have right now standing around ready to get this launched. How did it come about, putting this organization together?
Well, just like any small business, I think we just started from the grassroots. We were operating out of one person's basement, got our website and presence online, began recruiting pilots in the various airports nearby, and we've reached the point now we have over 300 volunteer pilots who are doing flights every day of the week.
Are you surprised by that? I mean, these hundreds of guys, with most of them with their own planes, doing it at their own expense, from all over mostly the East Coast, who responded. You surprised by that?
Not really. Honestly, pilots are a special breed of people, and they realize they have something really unique. For sure, we're all driven underneath by the idea that we have a plane and we want to do something with it. That's certainly how I started, and once you've done one flight like this, you become hooked real fast.
Because this is like one of the unmet situations that families in crisis face. I mean, there can be a lot of programs that can help you get the procedures paid for. There are these incredible experts that can do this work keeping you alive, but how do you get there?
Exactly.
And it's pretty darn expensive.
It's exactly the problem. It's expensive for people. It takes a lot of time out. We know people, before they found us, they were in a car for 9 hours driving halfway across the country, bringing 2 other siblings in tow, and everything that created trauma at home, trauma on the road.
And some of these folks need like specialized care. Even when they're traveling, they have a lot of equipment they have to go with. They have to still be medically monitored.
Generally speaking, the people that we're taking are quite ambulatory and have very modest medical needs. Otherwise, they would be in a different situation. But even at that, there are so many people in precisely that situation.
And, I see the joy when the people are there. Is that your payoff when you see these folks?
I think it's really tremendous. I mean, to me, the best part about the flight is making these people feel like for those couple of hours, they're just royalty. They can just sit back and relax while we take care of business and get them where they have to go.
So tell me a little bit about how it would work for somebody who might be listening and needs your help. I mean, who's eligible and how do they reach you to get that help?
Yeah, great question. First of all, we have a presence on the website, palservices.org, and contact our office, and they can take anybody through the qualification criteria. In effect, we want to transport anybody who has a demonstrated need. A lot of times that's a financial need, but many times people can pay for a plane ticket, but they can't go back and forth every single week and deal with the crowds in big airports. So what we're trying to do is take people who need to get to their treatment and take them out of the financial burden, take them out of the masses and the crowds type of burden, from nearby their home to the hospital where they need their care.
Well, what kind of cost would the patients face?
The patients face zero cost. Zero? Yes. The pilots are paying for everything to do with the flight, and then we raise money throughout the year to make sure that we can keep our 10-person office up. That 10-person office is focused on 3 things. Continue to find pilots, continue to put the word out to the caregiving institutions, and deal with the patients themselves who are traveling.
Well, how do you fund yourselves? I know the pilots are willing to ante up on the gas and the facilities for their maintaining maintaining their planes. But how do you fund this organization? Where is it based again?
We're based in Farmingdale, Long Island. Our presence is really from Ohio up to the tip of New England, all the way down to about North Carolina. That's our coverage. We have 3 or 4 events during the course of the year across our geography, and at those places we ask people to make donations.
Raise money.
So far, we've been successful, and that's something that we have to keep doing.
Well, when folks see video like that, pictures like that, you know, you're going to open a lot of hearts and wallets, too, at the same time. And obviously been doing it for 5 years, going strong, working out. We'll look forward to your next milestone, 9,000, coming up sooner than you think.
Thank you very much.
Alan
Sheiness, co-founder of PALS, Patient Airlift Services, a great organization, and we'll be right back.